How are you, Mr. John Hughes?
Morning, Aaron.
Now, how cool is this? Mr. John Hughes in the back of the Hughes Zoommobile.
Well, I was just saying earlier, how many celebrities have you had in the Zoom TV?
There's been a few.
Do I rate as one of them or not?
Well, you do. Well, last week the big 50 rich list came out and you made the top
50. Yeah, but look, let me tell you, Aaron, for everyone on that list, there'd be another 2 or 3 who are under the radar, so it's no big deal.
But you have an amazing life. So let's start at the beginning, when you first opened up your first car yard.
One day I saw a site that was up for auction. It was actually 196 Albany Highway. It was an old service station site. It's where my first yard was. And I had no money, and I couldn't afford to buy it, but there was something telling me that I had to try and have a go. So I rang them up the next day after the auction, hoping that they'd tell me it was sold. It hadn't. So I didn't sleep very well the next night, and I rang them up the next day and made them an offer they couldn't possibly accept. They were fairy tale terms. Well, they rang me the next day and said, "It's yours." So I sweated blood. I had to take my briefcase up and down St George's Terrace. I borrowed 120% of what I needed. You could do that in those days. That's how it all started.
50 years on, and you employ over 500 people?
550. June 2012 was a record year. If this keeps up, and it will, we'll beat it this year.
That's when Zoom started, I think, John.
Oh, well, you must have had something. Do I have to give you some credit for that, Aaron?
Well, yeah,
thanks for Zoom TV.
There you go. Now, no, the question I was going to ask you is, where was the change? When did you know you had it?
I don't think you ever really believe that you've made it. I mean, I've still got a long way to go yet. I think ambition is never feeling totally satisfied. If you do that, you may as well retire. And I'm not about to retire. Okay,
well, I think there's a lot in that, but there's also a lot in my next fast 5 standard questions. You ready for them?
Fire away.
Okay, I'll see if I can stump you.
You won't.
What was the first car you ever owned?
I only ever bought one new car. That wasn't new. It was a 1936 Austin 10. It was 125 pounds. I had one window winder handle because it was held on with a screw. There were no push-button electric windows.
What is your opinion of the best car ever made?
The best car I've ever driven? An Iso Rivolta Fidia, which no one ever know about. It was a hand-built Italian sports car that came out of Italy. I think it had a Chevy or a Ford 351 motor. I loved that car.
Now, John, what is your opinion of the worst car ever made?
What about the early model Citroens? A long time ago, when I had a car yard in Stirling Street, we had a Citroen DS, whatever they call them, and it was like a praying mantis. It'd go up and down according to the weather. You'd go in the morning, it had its nose to the ground, and then slowly during the day, the snout would come up and it would salute you. It was an amazing thing. I mean, don't the French make some absolutely quirky cars?
Now, what car do you currently drive?
I drive what I sell. I work on the 3 H's, humble, humane and honest, and part of being humble is to drive what you sell. I'm driving a Golf GTI.
Now, I've got to ask you, do you ever pull up at a set of lights and there's a couple of young people next to you think, what a car, that's John Hughes?
I think they look a bit disappointed when I don't know what they expect me to drive, a Bentley or a Ferrari or something. They see me driving this little Golf GTI. They'd rather take pity on me. They look down on me. Okay, now the final question, and I'm dying to know the answer to this. What is your greatest fear? Don't have one. I don't fear anything. The advantage of getting older is you might lose a little bit down here, but you pick it up here. And there's not a problem I'm going to face. There's not a decision I have to make. There's not a situation I'm going to be involved in that I haven't faced or encountered 100, if not 1,000 times before. I know how to fix a problem before it even starts. Life is not complicated, Aaron. It's only people who make life complicated. Keep it simple, and there is no fear. And that's why I admire you so much. Thank you, Mr. John Hughes. Thank you, Aaron. I enjoyed that. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you very much for all your support of Zoom TV. Now, if you'd like to know more about John Hughes, make sure you go to johnhughes.com.au. Don't forget, if you want to know more about Zoom TV, go to zoomtv.com.au. There you can get your free iPhone app, you can see past video reviews, and you can also see more about John Hughes. Now, before we go, if you're not from Perth, there's one thing you've got to hear. Now, John, are you the most trusted car dealer in Perth? Is it true I'm the most trusted car dealer in Perth? Absolutely. There you go. Thanks for watching.